den Regisseur selbst, Max Lewendel, fragen, bin ich sehr herzlich zu mir auf die Bühne hier, die Plattform bitte, und Sie bitte ihm einen herzlichen Applaus zu geben. Max, would you join me on stage, please? Thank you. Well, welcome again, Max. Well, welcome to Neuss, although you already played a couple of times here now. I just said that you're a touring company, you travel a lot, and with this production I think nearly 200 times. Can you just tell us what the differences are when you're playing somewhere else compared to playing in our globe?
Yes, of course. First of all, thank you very much for coming here today. The differences are very vast. We've played a large number of venues. Most are museum art, so they've got kind of the picture frame of it and everybody's facing it in the same direction. Sometimes we're in somewhat smaller theaters where there's no arch and it's a little bit more intimate. But there's been nothing where so many people can be so close. We've been to lots of theaters that seat around 500, but then the seats almost come back to here. But everybody is, I think, within a tennis court from it. Is that the description that was used? And they go around to the sides so much. So it's very fortunate that we got a couple of days to restage it and take that into account and be able to play to these people that we have such a more intimate communication with the audience, bring things very, very close to you and move it around so that everybody keeps getting a different view of it and you're not stuck with somebody's back to you for too long. So we're loving the difference. It's an incredible challenge, and we're very grateful.
The company is called Icarus Theatre Company, and it has a little word collective in it. And that describes your style, the way you work with the actors. Could you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, the idea of collective is kind of a description of our working method. So it's not just me coming in as director and imposing a vision on everyone and saying, this is what we're doing, and knowing exactly how we proceed things. I'll come up with a play with a rough idea on how it's supposed to feel. I'll describe that to the team, and the team likes it, then that's the play we'll do, and we'll start casting. And then everyone from the production team that I initially discussed it with, to the actors in the show, to the interns that come in the office and maybe come in and watch a rehearsal, are welcome to chip in and make suggestions. And we'll try hundreds, thousands of different things, and we'll do each scene a dozen, 2 dozen different ways, and we'll pick the ones that we like the most. So I look at my own role as more of in some ways a destructive role. I'll choose which ideas we don't use. Everyone else has to be very creative and keep feeding ideas, and then we'll kind of keep the best ones, or the ones, not necessarily the best ones, but the ones that tell the story the best, which is the most important. Sometimes I think the hardest part is when somebody comes up with a really good idea that's really, really great, but that actually doesn't fit with the story that we're trying to tell. And then sometimes we have to let that go and then go, all right, let's find something just as good that works with the story. That's the challenge of it. And so that's the collective kind of sense that there is still a focus. There is, as if it was just everybody could do anything, then it would become very messy. But this way we kind of have everybody feel like they have ownership over it, and yet we still achieve a focused production.
You're not only doing Shakespeare in your company, you have done already 2 Shakespeares, 2 tragedies. It was Hamlet and Othello, yes, and now Macbeth. Can you tell us what interests you in Shakespeare especially?
I have to say the obvious answer, the language. The language is just so amazingly beautiful, and it's poetry as much as it is a play. So you can take the same text and do it 2 dozen different ways, and it will make sense 2 dozen different ways. And you could do one scene where somebody really looks like a good guy, and then use the exact same words where they really, really look like a bad guy, or angry, or versus sad, or anything. And there's sometimes you have less choice, but a lot of them are so open to interpretation. It's so much fun to play with, and the stories are just so as classic and known as they are, they still somehow feel very fresh and alive today.
And it seems you have a favor for tragedies. There hasn't been a comedy yet. Is there a reason for that?
I'm no good at doing comedies. The main reason, I think, I love watching both tragedies and comedies, and it very much depends on what mood I'm in. As for directing them, I feel that with comedy you need to get the timing very, very right. And I like having the flexibility of being able to play with timing a lot more. And with tragedies, I think you can do that a lot more. If something feels much more dramatic, you can take a much longer pause. Or if something feels very, very energetic, you can keep going. And something about the stories, I don't know, just resonate more with me than with comedies. I don't know, ask me again in a year, I might have a different opinion.
Thank you. Maybe next year we see you with comedy here. But today we want to enjoy your Scottish play here. Thank you very much, Max. Ich danke Ihnen herzlich.